Are you an aspiring voice actor who wants to get started in voice acting but just not sure where to start? Well, I'm a professional voice actor, and in this video, I'm going to be breaking down step by step how to get started and how you can book work. And if you're new to this channel, my name is Daniel Sean Smith, a professional voice actor who's worked for animation and video games. Sorry for swinging by without an invite. And we break down voice acting tips to help you get started to work in animation and video games as well. All right, let's get started. All right, so the first thing you're going to want to do is buy a microphone. Now, if you don't have the funds to get a microphone yet, I recommend using your phone, right? Because what you want to do and what you want to keep practicing is just recording yourself and kind of just hearing yourself, playing it back and hearing yourself over and over and over again. And what this is going to do, it's going to flex this muscle that you're going to have to train almost every day. Now, what you record, that can be anything. Just go on ChatGPT and just look up scripts. For certain types of characters that you want to play. For example, if you are you want to play like a young brooding character, like a Sung Jin Woo, like if you like anime, or if you want like, you know, animation characters, whatever it is, just kind of go on ChatGPT, tell it to kind of create a script for you so you can practice on your own. If you don't want to use ChatGPT, there are tons of free websites. Just use a Google search and kind of just look up scripts so you can practice. And what this is going to do, and I want you to understand that, you know, voice acting is acting at its core. Acting is the most important thing when it comes to voiceover. So you want to flex that acting muscle as much as you can. And what reading scripts over and over and over again is going to help you get into that practice, and hearing yourself play back, hearing yourself back and kind of seeing like, oh, that didn't sound too good, or even listening to other people's voiceover work and kind of comparing yourself and just really just have an ear for it, right? Listening to what sounds believable, because at the end of the day, you're acting and you want to be as believable as possible. Now, there are different ways you can do that, but just doing it over and over and over again, that's going to flex that muscle, and you're going to get better every single day as you're doing this. You might not see it, you might not feel that you're getting better, but if you're practicing every day and 6 months pass by and you look back, and you're going to hear a big difference from 6 months, from the present time to 6 months ago, and how much you improved with your acting. So that's the number one thing I recommend, is just repetition, just acting over and over and over again, and hearing yourself play back and just kind of adjusting and tweaking from there. All right, so the next thing I would do is try to get some coaching, right? If you can't afford coaching, like I said, just keep practicing over and over and over again, but really try to invest in someone to kind of listen to your audio recordings and kind of, you know, see what they can hear, like a trained professional. See what they hear, and they can kind of tell you what to work on, because training is the most important thing. Because you have to realize that you getting into voiceover, you're competing with so many other people that are trained, that are getting the funds so they can get coaching, go to classes, whatever they can do, so they can be at so they can have their acting ability at its best that it can be. And you have to realize you're competing with people that are doing that. So you have to get training somehow. Like I said, that's not going to be the only thing you need to train on is coaching, also practicing by yourself. So those two combined is going to make you become a better actor over time, a lot faster when you're practicing by yourself and you're going to coaching. Because I can't tell you how many times I've ran into voice actors, or even just screen actors, that only train in class or only train when they're being coached. It's like, there's so many hours that you could have been, you know, practicing on your own, right? And that's going to help you get better. So just really try to capitalize on just getting your craft in check, and just practicing by yourself and getting coaching. If you're interested in becoming a voice actor, I can help you out. Come on, you can't just leave me hanging like this.
Hey, give that back!
Birthday cake? Check. Mordog the Eternal? Your ass is mine! So if you need help on how to get started or some coaching, go to the link in the description. Alright, so now once you have your microphone and you're recording yourself almost every single day, you need to get a recording booth. Now, that can be a walk-in closet. It can be many different things, but it can be a walk-in closet. You can buy one of those PVC pipes portable booths on Amazon. That's what I did. And, you know, when I started out, and just buy one of those booths and buy a bunch of, you know, 3-4 inch padding, and kind of just surround yourself with this padding and these clothes if you're using a closet, because, you know, moving blankets as well, because what that's going to do is it's going to deaden the echo and the reverb, because clients aren't going to hire you if you can have the best microphone out there, the best audio interface out there, but if you don't have a recording booth where it sounds professional, that's going to hurt you in the long run, because you most likely won't even get hired, right? If they're hearing some kind of echo and reverb. So make sure, I'll make a video on this in the future, but there's tons of videos out there right now. It's just, walk-in closets are perfect. Just surround yourself with a bunch of clothes. That portable booth I just mentioned on Amazon. Buy with a bunch of moving blankets around you. Do anything you can to surround yourself with any kind of padding or clothes or moving blankets, so there is no echo or anything like that. And what I recommend is, you don't have to do this, but when I started out, I had a tablet, so I'd read my audition scripts inside my closet with my tablet like this. But then I eventually bought a booth, and I kind of had my screen up here and had my microphone, so I can kind of just read the auditions, kind of, navigate through there with my computer already inside my booth. So definitely look into a professional sounding recording booth, so that'll help you book jobs. All right, and the next thing I would do is try to go on these platforms that can get you directly in front of these clients. And what I mean by that is you auditioning for clients that post projects on these websites, and you can audition for them and kind of just put yourself out there in front of these clients and see if they would hire you for that job. Because what this does is, I will say from the beginning, you're not going to get a lot of jobs, right? Because you're just starting out. You're reading these scripts. It might look foreign to you. I know it did for me, and I was very choppy. It didn't sound right. But what this is doing is you auditioning over and over and over again is you're becoming better every single time you audition. And it took me a while to realize that, but like I said previously, you're flexing that muscle. Like it's almost like the gym, right? You're constantly just going at it, flexing these muscles, doing different workouts, and you don't see it right away. It's slow. It's a slow progression. Same thing with you getting in front of these clients and auditioning. You auditioning is flexing that muscle. It's flexing that auditioning muscle to help you get better every single time. Now, what websites you can do that on? There's a plethora of different websites. I recommend doing a Google search, but what I started out using, there was Upwork, there's Fiverr, Voice123, Voices.com, Voice Bunny, Casting Club. I recommend Casting Club because that's a free website you can use, and that's a lot of animation indie projects on there. So yeah, definitely check those websites out if you think you're ready. I don't want to pressure you into just paying for something that you're not ready for yet, but that is the next step that I recommend taking once you got everything in order. All right, so the next thing is, hopefully by now, after you're training almost every single day, you get some coaching, now you're on these websites auditioning for these projects. Hopefully by now, it really depends on, the person. It can vary from person to person, but within I would say close to a year, maybe even 6 months to a year, you will have start to book jobs at this point, right? So maybe even less time. But once you're booking jobs, these are going to be beginner jobs at first, but that's a stepping stone, right? Because now you're understanding what clients are looking for when they hire you for a project, right? You get hired for a project. Now it's on. Now you got to get things rolling. They're going to need that project done by a certain amount of time. A lot of the beginner projects, there aren't usually live directed sessions. Usually the client will just send you their script. You record it in whatever tone they're asking for, or whatever character that character voice that they want you to that you auditioned in, that you are now hired for. So you read that script on their specifications, on their requirements, and you send it off to them. You send them the audio file. Now, if that audio file needs a revision, meaning, oh, hey, can you redo this section right here? Can you say this word a little differently? Oh, this line didn't match this next line that you did. So what that is doing is you are now understanding how to adjust and how to tweak and how to redirect yourself when a client asks you, because that's going to be important when you start to book bigger jobs, because the early on clients that you're working with, that's almost pretty much the same thing as when you get a bigger client, right? Like when I booked a role for a big budget video game, when they were asking me to, it was a live directed session up in Los Angeles, but when they were asking me to, do a line a different way, when they were telling me to, oh, put more emotion on this line. It was like that. I was so prepared and so ready for it that I was so confident, and it was just another Tuesday for me. It wasn't like, oh, I don't know what to do. But it was because all of the earlier jobs that I booked, all of the not lower clients, but the not as big paying jobs that I booked early on in my career helped me get ready for the big jobs. And this is why it's so important, is because you working early on in your career, working these projects, that's getting you ready. That's flexing that muscle, right? That's getting you so prepared that when opportunities come to you, you are not flailing and, scatterbrain, oh, what do I do? When the opportunities come to you, you are so far prepared that you're going to be so confident, and you're not even going to feel any kind of fear there or anxiousness. Yeah, there's going to be a little nervousness there, as always. I don't care where you are in your career. There's always some nervousness there, right? But it's not to the degree of, I'm new to this, I don't know what I'm doing. You are so well prepared that it's not going to affect you as greatly as if you weren't prepared at all, right? So this is why it's so important, just, taking it step by step, knowing that this is the long game, this is a long run, and trust where you are, trust the process, and just kind of keep going, build that forward momentum, and it's all going to pay off in the long run when you start to book the bigger jobs, the ones that you got into voice acting for, right? The animation character or the anime character, the video game character that you've always wanted to play. When you get those opportunities, you're going to be so far ready for it. All right, and the very last thing I would do is reinvest in your business. So once you're starting to book these jobs, right, you're getting a steady income, you're getting monthly extra income from you got your regular job and then you got your voiceover job, right? Reinvest in your business. So buy better gear, buy a better audio interface. If you're not sure what that is, I'll make a video later on kind of explaining what gear I use. But this right here is a Neumann TLM 103. This is an industry standard microphone. There's the Neumann TLM 103 and there's the Neumann U86. Those are the top two microphones that people use. There's a bunch of other ones, but those are the top two main ones. But yeah, this is a Neumann TLM 103. This was $1,000, right? I did not start off in this microphone. I have an Apollo Solo audio interface in my booth back there. That's a $600 audio interface. I did not start with that audio interface. I started off with a $80 audio interface. I started off with a Marshall MXL 90, I think it was, but it was a $100 microphone. But basically, what I'm saying is start off whatever gear you can afford at the moment and just kind of build from there and reinvest in your business. Because what you're doing is you're not only spending money on new gear and new equipment, but you're betting on yourself, right? You're putting it on the line on you, because the business is you. You are the voice actor. You're the one that's going to make the money. You're the vessel that creates this business, right? So I recommend, reinvesting in your business for gear, even on websites, pay-to-play websites like voices.com or Voice123. Those are memberships that cost money. There are different tiers too, like on Voice123, different tier of memberships. Higher you pay, the more auditions you get. But if that's not something for you, no pressure there. I don't recommend it if that's not what you want to do. But that's what I'm doing, because I invested in myself. I invested in my business to where I can book work consistently. So of course I'm going to pay for more auditions so I can book more jobs. And I'm willing to pay that extra money because I'm reinvesting in myself, which is my business. And I have a steady income now. I'm a full-time voice actor. I don't have a regular job because I put in the years of work to take to where I'm at right now. So that's the last thing I'm going to give you is reinvest in your business. Believe in yourself. It gets hard, guys. I'm not going to say this is easy. This is a very hard career, but it is worth the payoff if you stick with it, you're passionate about it, and this is something that you want to do, and it's totally possible. So if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to let me know. Like I said earlier, I offer coaching, consultations. So if you need help getting started or you need help on your acting ability, for voiceover, just let me know. Shoot me a message in the description. There's going to be a link there so you can contact me. But yeah, Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you helped it out. I hope I hope it helped you out. But if, yeah, leave me a comment if you have any questions or concerns or things that I didn't answer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.